Oh, there it is. Go neutral, please. Oh, not as far out as I thought. Decent fish. Three. Hold tight. Oh, it's so much harder when your hands are cold. One twist. Well, thank you, Duff. Duff got me this 8.5 inch jointed, and I told Brad all fall I've had not the best trolling season, but every fish that I've had that's been really fired up has been on this bait. And they get right up on it. This fish came up, started following us. I was driving, so Brad's seen it, and he's cranking it, messing with her. And I just turned the boat out to open water and kind of watched with him, and it was pretty cool. We coaxed her into eating it, so we're gonna get her out, get her taken care of. Hopefully we're in a window, get another one. But again, 8.5 inch jointed matlock. Super cool little bait. First fish I've got on it, but it's a really nice fish too. Get her taken care of. Come here, big lady. Oh, that's a good one. Yep. Put her on the board right quick. Where's she at? 52-ish? 50. Right at 52. Awesome fish. Welcome back to Mayhem's 10,000 Cast. Doing one of our favorite things, trolling in the fall. And she decided to eat. Coaxed it a little bit, but nice, beautiful fish. I'm not going to complain at all. Let's get this one back in the water. Oh, she's waking up quick. Cold water, nothing better. She was kind of fighting me there. Just want to make sure she's good. And I think she's ready to go home. See you later, girl. So, number one in the bag,
Feels really good to get a nice fish like that right away. I'll be honest with you, the last couple of weeks I've been doing some trolling. I spent all last week trolling, and we got one fish, but man, it's just not been the way it normally is. The beauty of this is that the water temps have started to drop, and we're sitting at about 45 degrees right now. It's mid-November. One of my favorite ways to fish, and that's doing this trolling thing. And the reason for that is it seems like you can get some of those bigger fish. And so, hey, we got a nice one in the bag. That was a big one right there. So that's why I love it. It's special. It's hard to beat trolling this time of the year. You can do some casting. It's still warm enough where we could cast, but like I said, I just truly enjoy this. So hopefully we can stick a couple more before dark.
Well, moon just came up over the trees. Should be good now. That's why we're kind of fishing a little later. It's full moon was today or yesterday. I can't remember. I think it's today. But full moon in November. It's going to be pretty close to that Cisco spawn. Might even make the Cisco spawn a little bit. So it's a very, very good time to get a really big fish. So we're going to stick it out a little later tonight for that reason. And then the second reason is that big cold front I was telling you about that's coming in. It's coming in with a ton of wind. And it's supposed to be really windy after dark too. So we're going to take advantage of being able to fish tonight because it's nice and calm after dark. And then the rest of the week we probably won't be doing too much after dark just because it's going to be really cold and really windy. But we'll see. They're biting really good. We'll stay out as long as we need to, that's for sure. But hopefully we can get some of these fish to go. We had another, I think 1 or 2 more fish we marked. We're going back on to where we seen those fish earlier today, so hopefully get those ones to commit now when it's dark. Kind of did a big, long, wide loop to kind of wait for that moon to come up, and then we're going to go back on those fish. Get the moon to come up, a little bit more light penetration. The fish can see the bait a little bit easier. I think it'll help us, so hopefully we stick one.
What 3 words do you always hear in a boat when catching muskies?
Again, Team Rhino.
Team Rhino color.
Team Rhino Outdoors.
Team Rhino Outdoors.
Team Rhino Outdoors.
Little pit bull from Team Rhino Outdoors.
Team Rhino Outdoors.
Said Team Rhino custom color.
Team Rhino Outdoors.
Team Rhino custom color.
Another Team Rhino color. Man, I'll tell you what, Team Rhino makes some awesome custom colors.
Order your custom baits and muskie equipment now from TeamRhinoOutdoors.com.
Meet your full-time guide, Chase Gibson from Gibson's Guide Service. If you're looking for a guided muskie trip and an experience of a lifetime, Chase has you covered. Offering guided trips in West Virginia, Ohio, and Minnesota. Book your trip now by calling or texting Chase at 304-816-6607.
Notice we're in a different boat. We decided to make a change here. Hit a different body of water that we haven't done this open water trolling on before, but excited about that. Already marked a couple fish. We're getting really close to the end of the season here. It looks like single digits here in about 7 to 8 days. And this might be our last day on the water. Water temps have dropped a little bit, so we're pretty anxious to see if these fish won't go. Stick it out with us. We'll see what happens here in a little bit.
Well, we got one. It's kind of funny. We pulled up on a spot that I got a fish yesterday, and went by it, seen a great big one, and it was about to hit the board rod. So I had Brad get the board rod and start pumping it, and then we marked another one. As soon as that happened, well, it was smaller, so I didn't even care about it. I was looking at that big one, And I turned the LiveScope back and could see it. And I thought I was looking at Brad's bait getting pumped. I wasn't. I was looking at this 14-inch Jake. That fish shot up and just smoked it. So first one in the morning, it's awesome. Awesome to get one. There's the bait. Team Rhino custom color, 14-inch Jake, Snowy Cisco. I believe I got like a 49 or something, maybe a year or two ago on this bait. So I like this bait. It's my little special bait now. But let's get this one out, not a big one. And I'm gonna get the rods out ASAP, swing back around, try to get that big fish. The only thing bad about this November thing when we're trolling, it almost like I want Brad to reel all of them in. That way I don't have to get my hands in the water, because wind's a little bit bad today and it's probably 20, 25 degrees out right now. But get her taken care of so we can get after that bigger fish. Come here, ugly. Nice easy grab, thank you. We're making that less difficult than it usually is. Oh, I got the camera. Awesome first fish to start the day. Probably 42, 43 incher. Nice thick fish. Get her back. Awesome, I love these November fish. They're so pretty. All right, let's get her back. We'll go over here, Brad. What's really cool about November is you can do this. Tail kick goodbye. All right, set them rods out, get that big one.
20 years of mayhem. Still built right here in the USA. Creating and making history one bait at a time. Catching personal bests in boats season after season. Find Muskie Mayhem Tackle at any fine retailer or go direct at muskiemayhemtackle.com. Let the mayhem begin. Muskie Bumper, a solid measuring platform for your catch. Constructed with strong plastic that floats and stainless steel hardware for years of use. Check us out at fishbumper.com. We measure your success.
Magnum Ventures Inc. has you protected when it comes to snow, sand, and wind structural fencing products, providing residential, commercial, and Department of Transportation options for superior property and roadway protection. Magnum Ventures at www.magveninc.com for your project needs.
That's why you should always clear your other rod. I thought it won't get in it. Well, it got in it. Another one for the Team Rhino, Snowy Cisco, custom color, 14-inch bait. She's lively, but got a good pattern here. But this is not what you want when you're trolling. Yeah. What the freak is going on? Get the frick out of here. Remember what I said about I want Brad to reel them in, that way he has to hold them. Well, he's opting out on this one, and the biggest reason is we got a humongous cluster of line, baits, and everything right there, so it's easier for me to get back here and just grab it real quick. This is not the big one that we seen. We did go back over that fish twice. She followed really, really hard, just didn't commit, so we're gonna give her a little bit of time and work our way back over there. Let's get this one out and hopefully get a couple more. They're biting pretty good today. Nice little fish, not a bad one. We'll take it. It's 20-some degrees. 14-inch Jake, Team Rhino custom color, Snowy Cisco. I think they like that bait. Pretty little guy. Let's get her back. Oh, see you later. Bye. Freaking mean one that one was. I broke my finger. I opted to keep the gloves on that time. Hopefully these things are waterproof. All right, where's my burrito? I was eating a burrito and it freaking fish interrupted that. That's bullcrap if you ask me. Frozen burrito, best thing ever. It wasn't frozen when I bought it this morning. You've seen us in the last couple years doing this fall trolling, incorporating LiveScope as far as just seeing the fish and maybe interacting with them to get them to bite. Usually, let's say years past, we very rarely get them when we're pumping the rod, but I want to make a point that you really don't need LiveScope for it. Yes, LiveScope's awesome, you can see them, it's all in real time, you know what's going on. But that fish right there, we went over it. I seen it on LiveScope, and I marked it on side imaging right under the boat, 5 feet over, right where the down rod is. So instead of just leaving it there and hoping that it just bites it without us ripping it, which the last one did do that, I grabbed a rod and I started ripping it. I think I turned the LiveScope back and watched the fish, and then I just picked up the rod out of the rod holder and started ripping it. Yes, I'm using LiveScope for that, but if you just had down imaging or whatever, just get a rough estimate in your head, just say count to 5. Grab, when you run over a fish on down imaging, side imaging, whatever, you know you ran over that fish. Pick up that rod, get ready, and just start pumping it. 5 seconds after, or just immediately. A lot of times that fish is back there, and about the time you start pumping it, she shoots up and eats it. Just want to make that point that you really don't need a LiveScope for it. You can just do it without it. Just as long as you got side imaging or down imaging or something to where you know you marked the fish. Same thing with a board rod. It doesn't have to be right under you. You mark a fish on side imaging out there. You got a board rod out there. Maybe you went by 4 or 5 that day and they just didn't eat. So the next one that you go by, pick up that rod, just give her some big, long, hard pulls like that, and you might get one to eat. So keep that in mind, do that. We're gonna get back after it because they're obviously biting. I'm hungry, I still need to finish my frozen burrito. Yep. Got it. Get the other rod in if you can.
Almost there, dude. Oh, no way.
Probably can't see my tears because they're frozen. Just had a really big one come up to eat the 14-inch Jake again. Just like I was talking a bit ago, I marked that one, I stood up, grabbed the rod instantly to get ready to start popping. Started popping it once I got it up, and she absolutely smoked it. That was a really big fish. That one stings. 4-footer plus all day, easy. It's not the big one that we've seen, so that's good. We do know where a couple more big ones are, but that was a cool one. She was very, very big head shakes. But I don't know, it's probably been maybe an hour and a half since we caught that last one, so a lot of action going on today. It's really cool. Keeps us warm. It doesn't feel nearly as cold today as it was yesterday, which I don't think it is, but having a lot more action with fish, so that makes it much easier. So if you're gonna bear out in the cold, just make sure that you catch fish. Then it keeps you warm. It's a good incentive. When you're freezing out here, you got to catch a fish. Just keep in your head, I need to catch a fish so I can warm up. It's cold.
All right, one little thing I want to talk about is what kind of leaders we're using. We use stealth leaders, 36-inch or 48-inch. Generally, I usually use the 36-inchers, and I use the straight wire. And the reason I use the straight wire is I just feel like it's a little bit more bulletproof than the fluorocarbon. But if you looked at all my trolling rods, you're going to find several rods have different things going on. Sometimes I use some super braid line, sometimes I use mono line, and so I kind of mix things up. But when it comes down to the leaders, again, stealth leaders, 36 and 48-inch, Your choice, fluorocarbon or wire. I prefer wire just because I think they're a little bit tougher and they seem to last a little bit longer. You start seeing some of those frays on your fluorocarbon, make sure you change them out. That's the biggest point there.
Normally the colder it gets, the tighter wobble, the quieter, the more subtle things is what we want. So far this year, it's been my obnoxious loud crankbait or loud rattles. It's been that jointed 8.5. And that 8.5 is a small bait, but it's got a lot of walk to it. It's jointed, and those joints on a Supernatural, they're clanging back and forth, so it's a really loud bait. Super interesting that they're wanting that louder bait now, for whatever reason. So keep that in mind. I mean, the 12-inch headlock is one of the absolute best things to troll up here. You can almost never go wrong with it. There's rattles in baits for reasons because it catches fish. So always incorporate that. If you got multiple guys out there trolling, don't troll the same stuff. We're gonna keep after it here. I'm almost back to where that big fish was. We've basically just been making little circles right here. And then we're gonna kind of go to another new little area. I've got like 2 or 3 pods of fish meaning it's a 500-yard area that's got some fish hanging around in it. So we're just kind of bouncing around those spots. But we're gonna keep after it here, hopefully get another one.
You know, a little play off of what Chase just was talking about, and we're using noisier baits this fall, like he said. I really think it comes down to water clarity. We noticed running the underwater camera, you know, we got it in line, watching the bait. It just has a really strong green hue this year. I think one of the reasons for that is, you know, 3-4 weeks ago, we were dealing with some algae blooms. And with that water clarity maybe not as clean as it normally is, I mean, a lot of these falls, you've seen it on our show, 30 feet down, you're still seeing that muskie go down on the underwater camera. You're not going to see that this year. It's about 10 foot, maybe 15 foot visibility. And so I do think the noisier baits are kind of helping call some of those fish up. So something to think about as well. You know, it looks clear to us, but when you start looking underwater, it's a whole different world. So keep that in mind.
Well, just went right back over that big fish. She's sitting in the same spot. She's just not really engaging on the baits. It's a really, really big one. Hope we can stick her today. I don't know, we're gonna give her some more time. She's still there. Keep knocking on the doors, see if she answers eventually.
What do you want me to do? I don't know. You good? Come on. You tie there, Chase?
There we go. I did a thick one. Nice.
Doesn't like it, Chase.
Well, Jake's doing it again. It is a Jake day, that's for sure. Moved spots and had 2 follows on that big 14, and wind's kind of laid down a little bit, and I just felt like we needed to get a little bit smaller, so we grabbed a Team Rhino custom color again, Goldie. It's a really, really cool looking color, and oldie too. A lot of guys down PA area love this color, and New York. So if it works in Minnesota, got a nice fish in the bag. We're gonna hurry up and get her done, because I just marked about 3 or 4, had one really big one chasing this thing. Cold outside, pulling me up out in the cold. Awesome fish. A little bit better fish too, maybe 44, 45. Thick one. She is a Jake eater. A Cisco eating son of a gun there. Oh, I love it up here in the fall. Let's get her back and get some more. Yeah, you're brute. Salt. good to go. We got 3 hooks now. Well, 10-inch jake, Team Rhino custom color, Goldie. This is a 10-incher. We were catching them on the 14, downsized, and small one's getting bit now, although we're not running the big one.
Well, that's number 4 for the day. What an awesome day of fishing. I'll tell you what, this is maybe our last day out. The temps are really going to be dropping, like I said earlier. I think in 3 to 4 days, we're in the single digits. Water temps are definitely dropping. But man, we're getting some beautiful fish today, that's for sure. This whole trolling thing is one of my favorite things to do in the fall. We got another good one in the bag. Let's take a look at her. All right, girl. There we go. Nice fish. Super nice. Good thick one. Let's get her on the bump and take a look. Old musky bumper. Gotta check them out. Let's see here. Where are we at there, Chase? 49? 49-inch fish. What a great solid fish. Awesome, awesome. Let's get her back. I really don't want to reach down in there. There you go, lady. See you later. Successful release. Man, there's nothing better than catching that kind of fish. Good times. Let's go see if we can find one more. We got about 40 minutes before dark. We'll see if we can't round up one more. Well, that's a wrap for our trolling episode. Awesome day. 4 fish in the boat, some good ones. It was a good time. You know, if you've seen anything this whole season, if you want in on the action, it's real simple. You can get a hold of Chase Gibson, real easy, whether it be on Instagram, Facebook, or I know his phone number's out there as well. And check it out if you want to look for some open dates with him. Get in contact with him. And until next week, thanks for watching.